Thank you so much. How are you all doing today? Sounds like a little tired after work. How are you all doing today? Thank you. So, it's a pleasure being here in this actually decent day. It's a cold for a Cuban, but warm enough for someone that's been in New York for a little while, so I'll take it. The first song, actually, let's talk a little bit about culture and history. In Cuba, there are many African traditions, and religions that went down there. I come from the Yoruba people. Of course, I have some Spanish also. I'm a mix of many things. But growing up in Santeria, that's what the Yoruba religion became down there. We always, before we do any ceremony, before we pray, we do anything, we actually pray to the ancestors. And for me, the music that we play is tied to that kind of like culture of ancestry and like the people that came before. So I always love the first song of the night to play something from a master that came before us. Wayne Shorter became an ancestor 2 years ago, but his music keeps him really alive and his legacy. So the first song we just played is a song I arranged and I love by Wayne Shorter. I think he recorded it in 64 or 65, but it sounds super fresh. And it's called Yes or No. The next song we're going to play, and I'm not reading the script or anything, it's just music, by the way. I just keep looking so I know what's the next song. It's a song I wrote, and it's called A Student Is Not a Disciple. And even though I was influenced by Indian music, as in India the country, thank you, Zack is a really disobedient bandmate, the drummer here, and he always makes it into a cumbia. I wonder why. Sometimes it's a reggae, it's whatever he wants, so let's see what happens today. that was called "A Student Is Not a Disciple," and yes, it's really fun. And we never really know what's gonna happen because Zack really sets the vibe for that one. So before I keep on going and playing more music, I want to introduce this amazing band. It's a pleasure to play with these guys. Most of them I know from now feels a little bit like forever. Um, and I've been making music with them since, basically the day of meeting them. So, let me go to, you already know his name, and he's responsible for all the indisciplina in the house. The great Zack O'Farrell, all the way from Park Slope, Brooklyn. He likes to say he's from Bed-Stuy, but he lives in Bed-Stuy. Anyways, by the way, it feels so nice to be playing in this side of the river. Man, yeah. It's like chill. People around looking at you like, what's this guy doing now? On bass, all the way from Puerto Rico, La Isla del Encanto, the great Ricky Rodriguez. He's a little bit jet lagged, but still making a lot of good jokes during soundcheck, keeping the energy alive and the music alive. Ricky Rodriguez on bass. From Havana, Cuba, from my town, actually, my hometown, she's one of the, she was really, it was inspirational, because she's really, we're about the same age, but she was so smart that she got to be my teacher. I always have to say this, because we are not that different in age, but she's one of the really smartest, persons I've met, and a great musician too. Yeah, Camila, Cortina, the Roads. This is funny. I met Boyce, how long ago? 2-3 months ago? Yeah, but we had known about each other for a little while, because we have a friend, Raúl Reyes, a great bass player from Cuba, that kept talking about Boyce. And one day I saw he was playing a jam session, I thought, so I showed up with my trumpet, and I was like, hey man, can I play some? I was like, well, this is actually a gig, but I guess you can play. He wasn't about to let me, home, but we ended up hanging out that day, and really man, this guy can really play. He is almost sight reading this music. They know me. They know that I sent the music the day before, and I've gotten better at that. And man, this guy is playing all of this, and it's demanding music, to say the least. Boyce Griffin on the tenor saxophone. The next song we are going to do is inspired by a short story. Who likes reading here? I hope most people do. I love reading, and books have been a big inspiration for me to write music and playing cool stuff. This one is inspired by the great Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Anyone from Colombia here? Oh, Colombia en la casa. Bien, so this is one of the greatest really artists. It goes beyond what he could write, but the way he put ideas out. And this one is called La Historia de Heréndira. And it's a heavy story. If you can get the it's a short story, you would read it in a day, really. But it's heavy. And Zack is gonna set the fire. He's gonna start the song with a drum solo. This one's Thank you. So, because of time, we decided to make that, La Historia de Render song, make it to the next one. The last song you heard is called Flying with the Groove. I wrote it, and it's the style of rhythm that we use was born in Cuba in the 1950s, and it was really popular here, and actually it influenced rock music a lot. And if you want to get the sources where I got this and why I'm making this statement, we can talk about that during the break. And it's also stylistically influenced by one of my favorite trumpet players, the great late Roy Hargrove, and it's a tribute. He loved Cuba. He was there many times in the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s. He recorded couple albums down there, and yeah. So we have to take a little break. Not right now. We have one more for you. But before I do that, I want to thank you guys really for being here. It is really special. So many ways of entertainment these days, and you choose to go and see a concert, and it means a lot. It means that we still human beings, normal people that aren't necessarily so crazy about AI and all of the stuff that is going on, and it's cool. It's a really nice tool. I like it. I come from non-technology to this place, so it's like Disneyland. But the fact that you are here is amazing. So I want you guys to applaud yourself for being here, for trying out, for supporting live music. I played actually a concert with one of my mentors from Cuba here one time in 2016, and it was still it looked good, but what Ted's done here is amazing, and I'm enjoying my man. This is beautiful. When I got here, I was like, I think I know this place. And I was like, man, I play here, but it's now looks like all of this space outside is really nice, and the fact that I'm playing for the community, not old people, but all kind of people, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing. Sometimes you play this music for people, and I love all kind of people, but I also want to play for the community, not just for some rich millionaire people in Jazz Lincoln Center. That's maybe got 5 years left or whatever. Anyways, we need that money for the music, but you know what I mean. It's like being close is what this music is about. So please give it up for the Statuary. Thank you guys. So yeah, we're gonna take a real American short break. No Cuban long break, go for home, none of that. Not now, not today. But yeah, the last song we're going to play is called Like Someone in Love, and it's a standard by the great Jimmy Van Heusen and lyrics by Johnny Burke, if I'm not mistaken. And in the 90s, a style of music from Cuba became really popular is timba, and it's really highly danceable and really for the community. It's really for the people. And I was, growing up, that's stuff we used to listen all the time. So this one is special because I always said that if the musician didn't give the audience a melody to take home, something that tomorrow you wake up and we're like, the concert was really nice. That melody stayed with me. We didn't do our job right. So, because this music comes so much from the community, jazz and Latin music and Cuban music and even classical European music came from the community at some point. I feel like you guys should be part of the band for this last one. So I have a surprise at the end, okay? So stick around, don't go anywhere. And we have an entire different set for the next one. So see you guys. Yeah. as I promised, you guys now going to become part of the band. So it's easy. I just want you guys to sing this melody with us. Sounds a little sleepy. Let's get it better. Let's get it like, you know. Rick is the one with the jet lag. You weren't in Japan 2 days ago. Let's do it again. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Even though you've been here all this time, but still welcome back to this. The first song we played is an original song, a really challenging one. But we love playing the song, and it's called "One for Nicola." It's a good friend of mine, not a girlfriend, just a friend. And the next song we're going to play, as a matter of fact, is another original song. And I said earlier that I love reading a lot, and one of my favorite things to read is philosophy and like Eastern philosophy and like psychology and stuff. And I was always thinking about, how lucky you be to like be alive. It's a miracle. There are like trillions of stars in the universe and uncountable galaxies, and we get to be in this vast space. And but the feeling I get, instead of being a little tiny guy, is like, man, of all of the trillion of places and the billion of years that this universe has been around, we all have a unique experience, and we all have this, like this is happening right now, no anywhere else, and we got to like experience life and like the universe in a really unique, specific way. So I always think about the vastness of life, when I wrote this song. And this one is called "Thinking of the Universe." And rhythmically, it's got some Puerto Rican plena and bomba stuff on it. So and our guy from Dale con Dale. My boy is gonna play Killing Solo from Puerto Rico, the great Ricky Rodriguez. But it's gonna start with the piano though. So it's coming for later. Yeah, thank you. That was called Thinking of the Universe. Let me reintroduce the members of the band because I want you guys to follow them on Instagram. Because they are pretty cute.
Just for that reason.
Just for that reason, exactly. It's not economic reasons whatsoever, or like following. We won't sell you ads. On drums, all the way from Brooklyn, great Zack O'Farrell. On the bass, from Puerto Rico, la Isla del Encanto, the great Ricky Rodríguez. On piano, all the way from Centro Havana, via La Mar, via Singapore, via many places, Boston, all of it. We got Camila, Cortina. It's not from Miami, right? Okay, because Miami is North Cuba, so I was gonna say from North Cuba, but no. From Florida, the United States side of Florida, we got Boyce, Griffin on the tenor saxophone. I'm gonna give these guys a break. Camila and I are going to play some romantic stuff for you. We love songs. I love songs. What are we going to play?
I don't know, that's why I'm laughing.
Claudio o Bésame Mucho o Obsesión del Boyce.
Pero no sean las tres palabras que escribió el amigo que no me sé.
Vamos a Claudia. Hazle una introducción. Yeah, so we decided what song we're going to. Now you know you are in a real jazz concert, but you guys don't know what they're going to play. We're going to play a great song by the great Chucho Valdés called Claudia. Well, give it up for my mute. Woo. I'm not sure how much time we got left. We have time for probably then one or two. Let's make it, Let's play. Think of one not so long. Yeah, two chords each. So yeah, let's play two more, but the next one is not gonna be super long. By the great Thelonious Monk, this is Think of One. Thank you. That was a really groovy arrangement I did on the already groovy Think of One by the super groovy guy, Thelonious Monk. One of the masters of this music we're playing tonight. We have to go. The great late Héctor Lavoe used to say, todo tiene su final. Así mismo. But we want to thank, we want to thank the Statuary, Ted and Rachel for having us. This is an amazing place. Please support them, because the fact that you have music like this, and if you check the schedule of this place, they always have like some top, people that you usually would have to pay a whole bunch of money to go see, So keep supporting the Statuary, coming to concerts. Musicians love seeing people in their concerts. Some jazz musicians play weird so they don't get attendance, but most jazz musicians aren't like that, I'll tell you. So please keep supporting the scene and the venue. Thank you guys for coming here. We do this for you. It would be really weird, and that's what I don't get it. Why some people do this? Why some people be like, oh, let's play some weird stuff so no one can get us and we are like superior mind. And then no one is there. Why you do that? I don't get it. But the fact that you guys are here makes a difference. Really, we do, all kidding aside, the fact that you guys are here, it makes our job meaningful. And it's really sad to have a meaningless life. So thank you guys for being here. A round of applause for yourself. Thank you for being here, all of you. Last but not least, before we play our last song, I want to thank this amazing band. You can see the stuff they have to put up with. Saxophone, Dizzy Rodríguez, Camila, Cortina, Boyce, Griffin. My name is Kalí Rodríguez-Peña. This music is recorded, so if you can buy it, thank you. If you cannot buy it, stream it, but support. Also, we all have Instagrams. I think our names are out there. So if you like what you saw and you want to keep seeing more and keep up to the stuff we all do, please give us a follow. That's for free, The last song we're going to play is called Se Acabó, which means that's it, Se Acabó. Literally, that's like Se Acabó. And it's a song I composed a few years ago, a few pounds ago. Anyways, let's do this one. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you guys.